I was born in Philadelphia and moved out to western Pennsylvania around 4 or 5 years old, and then moved to a little town called Uniontown, Pennsylvania when I was like right around 11, 12 years old. Knowing what addiction was through the family, seeing it firsthand, growing up in a house where our rent was $250 a month. Couldn't tell you when we actually had like a running, consistent vehicle. I love my mom and dad to death, and you know, they did the best with what they had, but I felt like, you know, on my own, I would have had a better chance. Right around 14, 15 years old, I you know, moved out on my own, bounced around for a little while, and had some good mentors and some good people in my life that stood by me at a young age, and was able to graduate on time in 2007 from high school, and then shortly after joined the Marine Corps. We had sent out a security patrol of 4 or 5 Marines to just do a quick sweep of the area, make sure there wasn't anything going on, you know, just get some eyes out there and keep a constant presence. We would do that all the time. Within about 10 minutes, we hear an explosion, pick up the radio and we wait. Sure enough, after about 5-10 seconds, hey, Lance Corporal just stepped on an IED. He's missing both of his legs. We need a medevac. We need some support now. Roger that. Call for the medevac. They're 10 minutes out. Grab a couple of my guys. We sprint down to the area, a couple hundred meters away. He's inside of a courtyard, and one entry, one exit. So you got to make a decision. You know, are you that leader that leads from the front, or are you that person that sits in the back and tells everybody what to do? So I grabbed the stretcher, grabbed the rifle, and as I made it on that 3rd or 4th step, I had triggered a secondary IED, but I was still awake and didn't realize it. So I try to stand up and I can't get up. And then I try to stand up again and I can't get up. And then that's when I look down and the dust settles and I realize, oh shoot, I'm pretty jacked up. Helicopter lands. They put me on a stretcher, put me on the helicopter, and I pass out and I wake up maybe 10, 12 days later back in the U.S. at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. The next 2 years of my life were pretty rough, living, for whatever reason, thinking about I'm never going to get married, never going to have kids. Like, I felt like I was going to be a project for the rest of my life. All it took was for me to open up my eyes and see that there's a guy over here, he's missing both of his arms and both of his legs. And he's getting up and going to therapy. He's in a wheelchair, driving himself. You know what I mean? He's doing everything that I'm not doing, and I have both of my arms. And I said, that's it. If I'm not going to do it for me, then don't make it about me. Do it for him, or do it for you know, my friends that didn't get to come home. How can we help each other get through this? And that's a lot of the stuff that I think about on a daily basis, and it's what led me to where I'm at now with my life, with, you know, being married to my wife Cassie, to us having 2 kids, Remy and Gunnar, you know, our family, you know, being close with my blood brother Kenny and his family, and you know, with my sisters, what's going on in their lives, and with everything that we've done trying to give back, you know, in the last 7 or 8 years.
Going to the Marine Corps is such a selfless thing, putting yourself out there to sacrifice your life and limbs to protect and serve others. And I don't think that changed when he got home. The first thing that he wanted to do was help other people. And that is what he loves to do. And I think that's his motivation and that's his drive.
And that's where Runway of Dreams comes into this. When I think of KOHL'S being a presenting sponsor for a Runway of Dreams fashion show, what I think of is KOHL'S providing me an opportunity to showcase my disabilities and to show people that we can do it, but also we might need a little bit of help too. And guess what? That adaptive clothing is where it comes in. Over the last 10 years, a lot of my frustrations come from getting dressed and getting undressed, and you know, putting on shoes and doing those, just the little things that people don't think about. Not only am I modeling these adaptive clothes for them, they felt like I would be a good ambassador, but also they're asking, having that zipper on the inside up to your knee, is up to your knee good, or does it need to be up to your thigh so you can unzip all the way and put your prosthetic on instead of taking your pants off? To have a seat at the table, to me, means more than anything. And that's what this whole process is about. And I couldn't be more grateful, and I couldn't be more thankful